Johnny Depp hired psychologists to testify that Amber Heard has borderline personality disorder. Ms. Heard was in the 98th percentile. Forensic psychologist Shannon Curry was hired by Johnny Depp's legal team to give her professional testimony in court. During her hours of sharing her insights and conclusion of observing and speaking to Amber Heard for 12 hours, Shannon Curry began by explaining that she's offered her multiple tests and spoke, "These aren't fact." But her scores were consistent with other people who had obtained these scores who have been shown through many studies to have these very specific traits. She explains that people with BPD often don't really understand themselves and take on the identity of the people they're spending time with because they often feel emptiness out of being abandoned, and they might end up mimicking them from how they act to how they're dressed. As she proceeded to give her opinion on Heard's test results and explained, the 36 code type is very concerned with their image, very attention-seeking, very prone to externalizing blame to a point where it's unclear whether they can even admit to themselves that they do have responsibility in certain areas. She's also conducted a test to determine the malingering factor of her PTSD claims. There were signs of gross exaggeration, she stated. I also looked at the test results that were provided by Dr. Hughes, and on an objective test of trauma, there's a scale specific to intentional exaggeration on that test. And Ms. Heard was in the 98th percentile. She then talked about IPV, intimate partner violence, pattern that escalates in the formerly married celebrities. While irritability does happen in some, it's actually less of a symptom for female IPV victims, and typically they have more complaints about somatic symptoms. She's also spoken against bringing one's familiar therapist to provide their testimony in court. It's considered extremely unethical for a treating provider to ever provide opinion testimony like I'm providing because it's so well known in our field that you're going to have an automatic bias for your client. Heard had previously told The Times, trauma sneaks up on you in weird ways, where all of a sudden you find yourself in a puddle on the floor, crying while watching this play out live on Fox or CNN. The battle continued between the two former couples on the $100 million defamation lawsuit.